guys, Jin here, again with another statue review. This time we have Death Note from Oniri-Creations. We got Light Yagami and Ryuk Diorama. So man, this statue is amazing. I'm gonna say that straight off the bat. So there's gonna be a review going over 24 different categories. Just to let you know, each category will be graded out of one of 5 different grades. The grades are advanced, professional, veteran, expert, or master. Now, to give you what I'm looking for from each grade, advanced, every grade is based on basically like the skill set of everyone involved, and like the artists and everything. So keep that in mind. So for the first grade, advanced, an okay job, could be better. Looks like they don't quite do it for a living just yet. For professional, looks like it was done from somebody who has put a decent amount of hours into the craft and know a thing or two about the project. Veteran, someone who has been in the profession for a long time. They have their own style by this point, and they don't make the mistake. They don't make the same mistakes that anyone with less experience would make, right? So then we got expert, second to last. Someone who took extra effort to make it stand out. Not only do they put their own style in it, but they go the extra mile in the details, right? And then we got master, right? Someone whose work is awe-inspiring. There is a clear and unquestionable love and devotion for the craft, right? Best in class. So this biasly, this is a masterpiece. But we're not going purely off of bias here. We're going off what the statue brings to the table, and we're going to grade it based on that. But if you want to know my biased opinion, it's definitely a masterpiece. This thing is nuts. But we're gonna be going through that here. I'm gonna quickly try to get through the video, as quick as possible. Otherwise, it'll take a long time to get through this stuff. So I might be answering some of these questions very quickly here. Each category, I run through a list of different questions and then give it a grade. So some I'll just be spitting out answers so I can get through it quicker. This is my 3rd video, so I haven't fully mastered this style yet, and I'm on the time crunch, so I want to make sure I get this down and packed as quickly as possible. Alright, so starting out with portrait, likeness. Does it bring the character likeness? Yes. Light Yagami and Ryu. This statue has to deal with two characters, so they did an excellent job. Can you tell who this character is based off the portrait alone? For both of them, yes. Eyes painted or printed and the quality of it. The eyes are printed and it's great quality. Hair accuracy. Perfect portrayal of both of the hair. Face structured properly. Yes, absolutely. The grade that we give for portrait is expert. Clothes, outfit, and costume. Alright, so source material accurate. Yes, for both characters, 100% source material accurate. Distinguishing features. We got the school uniform from Light Yagami, very distinct, and even more distinct, Ryuk's outfit. His entire outfit, head to toe, it's distinguishable. You know right away which character this is. Unique design, that's more for if they took a different route and changed things up a little bit. They didn't change anything up. They went 100% source material. So that's what you're going to get with this. Additional features, design far better than the original. In this medium, they didn't change anything up. Do you like the costume more than the original? Again, they didn't change anything up. So what I give for clothes, outfit, costume, expert. So the body. Does the body accurately represent the character? For both characters, yes, absolutely it does. Just the posture and everything for Ryu is spot on. Even the his waist, you know, from the upper torso. You know, they did a great job distinguishing that. Does the body have good composition? Man, don't this thing definitely has good composition, especially with them two together. I mean, it makes the composition even better. For body, we got master. It's the best you can get. Pose. Is it a museum pose or action pose slash dynamic pose? It is a dynamic pose for the most part. Ryuk's is more dynamic, and Light is kind of museum, but that's just how he stands. I mean, he does this in the opening or ending of the anime. Um, I mean, you see this. You know, this is one of his signature stances, especially when you're talking about Kira. Um, does the pose identify the character? Yes, 100%. Both of them. I mean, you see Ryuk slouched over all the time. That's his character 100%. Light Yagami, he's standing straight up, you know, high and mighty. That's his character 100%. Is it a signature pose? Both of them, yes. Light Yagami with the apple is perfection. Yes. Is it a strong pose? Absolutely. I mean, everything I just said before, you know, Light Yagami with this strong, confident pose, and Ryuk just chilling behind them. I mean, that tells you everything. I mean, what more could you ask for? You know, there wouldn't be any other better way to pose Light Yagami. Does it expose the character's best features? Yes, I would say this pose does expose Light Yagami's best features, which comes off as, you know, his brain, you know, which would be kind of, you know, it's a hard thing to expose, bring across in a figure, but I mean, right away you can tell, you know, this person is, you know, confident and smart just by the way he's postured. All right, so does I mean that's everything. So for pose, we got masterclass. I mean, if I didn't give it away already, I mean, what more could I say? All right, so moving on to scope. Would you like the statue before color? I mean, I love the statue before color. I seen it, you know, the grayscale. It looked amazing. I wanted this immediately. So absolutely. Uh, does the pose? Oh nope. Let me skip. All right. Does the scope look difficult to create? Man, this thing looks insane. Of course, it looks difficult to create. Everything they covered everything. I don't. It's they went extra. You know. You would think that they could that they would probably skip out on some parts that kind of wouldn't be seen, but no, they covered everything. They didn't hold anything back. Uh, could more scope be done? I don't know what more scope could be done. Like if there's more scope that you could do, I don't know. I mean, they went all the way down to the buttons on Light Yagami's button-up shirt, even the buttons on his jacket there. I mean, they sculpted in all of Ryuk's skulls and all his jewelry that he has on, even his teeth, which looks phenomenal by the way. His teeth are all sculpted, each one individually, and even Light Yagami's eyebrows are sculpted as well, which I think, you know, that's what I love to see. They went the extra mile in the scope. So what I got for scope, master, of course. All right, so moving on to detail. Is there a lot of detail? Yes, there's a lot of detail. It's an insane amount of detail, especially on the base. Like all of this on the base is just, you know, incredible work. The wings on from Ryu just they went the extra mile. I mean, you could easily made this, you know, not as detailed with all these striations and whatnot from the wings, but they went the extra mile, and even the scythe that Kira is holding here. Like this thing is, this thing looks real. I mean, they didn't hold anything back at all when they did the scope for uh, the whole thing. All the details they put into this is just, I don't know, beyond me. Uh, is there detail in parts that need it the most? Yeah, I mean, again, there's detail everywhere. Does the detail add to the statue?
Doing great with the packaging. So, to show you exactly how much you don't need to spend on a gaming headset, I got this. Now, what do I strive to do in life? I strive to be excellent. So, this is a headset of many purposes. So, if you want to plug it into, say, a console, then you can get it to work straight out of the box. Or if you're using a PC, use this handy little splitter cable. You can now like headphone, but also microphone input or
there's not one spot you can't find.
Whatever. So, some people might tear me up on this, but I got a clap.
Alright, so for a detail, master. Alright, so now we're moving on to style. Is the artist's signature touch a part of the style? Yes, it is. This artist does include a lot of detail in his other work. I think there are actually two different artists that worked on this, and they both put a lot of detail in their work, and you can see the artist's touch on the statue. Can you tell the artist based on the statue? Yeah, probably you could if you looked at a lot of different work, and then you see like the detail that they put on it, then you probably tell that this was one of theirs. One who does more anime, he did like Yagami, and the other guy, did incredible work with the detail. Does the style help bring the characters to life? Yes, their style definitely helps bring the characters to life. Both characters, man. It's just they. If this doesn't say Death Note and Light Yagami, Kira, Ryuk, then I don't know what does. Is the concept interesting? Yes, I mean, you probably could not have had picked a better concept for the statue of Light Yagami, which I believe is the first official statue of Light Yagami, not figures. And man, they went out with a banger. So for style, we got master. All right, so moving on to paint job. Does it pop? Yes, it pops, even though everything is, kind of gray and dead, because that's where they are. They're in a Shinigami realm, but it still manages to pop, right? They definitely did a great job with where the characters needed to be in order for the characters not to get blended in by the base and each other when it comes to the color. Are there multiple tones? So there are multiple tones in parts that need them. Not so much, but at the same time, like the parts that they don't really need it. The tie has two tones red. The base, of course, has multiple tones for all the bone parts and for the rock part. This has different tones along with all the detail. That's how you're able to, that's what makes the detail pop more. Is it easy on the eyes? As far as the color, yes, it is easy on the eyes because of the way they position everything. Shading appropriate enough. There could have been more shading, but I mean, it doesn't, like what they got right here doesn't really make it look any less amazing. Do the colors accurately represent the characters in the base? Yes, 100%. or is the colors representing style? No, they went full on with the anime accuracy with this one. Alright, so paint job master. So moving on to texture. Can you feel the textures? Yes, you can feel the textures, especially the base. The base, like all these cracks and crevices everywhere, and just the texture overlapping, just makes it feel and look more realistic. The bones almost feel real. I mean, I don't know if you really could tell the difference. It is just crazy, especially like some old bones like that. And I mean, this thing is just like insane with texture, right? From light coat to his pants, all the way to Ryuk's wings. Everything is textured out. Does it differentiate from other textures visually or physically? Yes, as I said before. I think texture is what helps this thing pop extremely well, and it lets you know that this is an anime, but at the same time that it's still applying enough detail to let you know that they care about the source material, and that the anime itself and the manga did have a lot of detail in places where it needed it. Does the texture best represent the material on the characters / base / effects? Yes, yes it does. So for texture, we got master. All right, so moving on to material. All right, was it made out of the best material for this piece? I would say yes. Is the material worth the cost? Yes. For material, we got veteran. Mixed media. Is the mixed media used properly and appropriately? There is no mixed media in here, which is a good thing. I don't think they needed to include that. I don't know how bad this probably will look if Light Yagami had mixed media on, or if this was mixed media, which you probably could see quite, a few different statue companies probably doing, trying to take the easier way out instead of sculpting that. So that was an excellent choice by choosing to sculpt those. I mean, it's fragile, but at the same time, it was well worth it. And it does benefit that it was not mixed media. It's not flexible because there is no mixed media. So for mixed media, we got expert because of their decision. All right, so articulation is for figures only. Base, does the base tie in with the statue? Yes, it does. I mean, this is, they couldn't have picked a better location. Is it a part of the character's normal setting? Not Light's, but it is part of Ryuk's when he's not with Light Yagami. The Shinigami realm is iconic with Death Note. So they did a great job representing and letting you know where these two are. And you can see this in promotional material, posters, and maybe in the opening, ending, you'll be able to see a Light in this location here. Of course, he's in the humor world throughout the series. It is an iconic location, and it's also instantly distinguishable. So for base, we got master. So the next category is accessories. Any posters or certificate? Yes, there is a certificate. No poster. Certificate of authenticity. Yes, thank you. Let me go ahead and get that real quick. All right, so here we got right here. Here, I'll show the assembly guide too, whether it is needed now or later. Shows you how to put the thing together. Got pictures and numbers. The instruction manual, as you just seen, yes. any items that can go with the statue. If you want to consider the apple an item, then yes, it does have one. Did they pick the best method for power? Oh, well, let me go back. Batteries, if needed, or plug-in. No, not needed or necessary. Did they pick the best method for power? Doesn't have power. For accessories, we have veteran. All right, so moving on to swap outs. So let me go ahead and swap this out since you've seen enough of that. For the first time, that took longer to take out than normal. Alright, so here we have the Death Note. Alright, so do the parts add anything to the statue? Yes, I would say the swap out and the apple or the Death Note does add to the statue. They both play an integral part to the story. I mean, especially the Death Note. The apple is to feed Ryuk, and it's part of the game. Light plays with L. Does it change how the statue is presented? Yes, I would say so. Normally you see Light with the apple. He's more usually by himself without anyone around. I mean, for both the Death Note and that. But especially the apple, he's more chilling with Ryuk and feeding him if Ryuk is going nuts, bouncing off the walls and stuff because he's hungry. How many parts are there? There's only 2 parts, just the other pair of hand, the other hand with the apple, or Death Note. Would you display the entire set of portraits at once if possible? There is no other portraits. I mean, that would be amazing if they did include Light with a portrait. I could see maybe with him laughing, maybe, or with red eyes, or even red hair. That'd be, man, that to represent Kira, that'd be insane. Or even Ryuk, eating an apple or something like that. That also would be dope. But we don't have any of that. Any swap or pass? No, I like the apple and the Death Note. But you get both with when you buy this. It's not any exclusive thing or anything like that. So for swap outs, we got veteran. So moving on to assembly. Oh man, assembly. Is it simply simple and easy or difficult? Man, this thing was pretty difficult. What I mean is the base. The base was the instruction manual numbers were wrong. They also numbered the statue as well at the parts where you key it in, and on the base itself they numbered them wrong. So that threw me off. And then just they didn't. I don't think they used the best method to key these in. I think they should have went with magnet, which they didn't. They got the key and a peg, and it's kind of hard to push in and have it stay there. I had a difficulty with that, which you'll probably see on the unboxing. It took a while, which is the next question. Does it take a while? Yes. Do the parts fit in all the way or correctly at all? No, they did not fit in all the way. They fit in all the way when I did it in out of order, because I think you need to put these in the correct order. But then it's harder to put in if you can put it in at all. And if you do it out of order, then you probably have to be extremely careful. Which I'm talking about. I'm talking about these 3 bone structures right here. Because if you put them in out of order and then they're not keyed in all the way right now. I can see big gaps. But before I put it in the right order and separately, individually, they went in all the way. But I just got annoyed of dealing with it. I just wanted to shoot, these videos. So I just left it the way it is. Because right after this, I'm boxing this back up. Because it's super fragile and I'm going to be getting other stuff I don't want this to be in the way and get potentially broken. Um, so, and another part of the magnets, they definitely should have went with magnets. This hand falls out all the time. Actually, I'm not gonna do this anymore. But before when I picked this thing up, just picking it up, his hand would drop out. When I first unboxed it, his hand was barely staying in there. I don't know why would they choose to have this key in that way with the peg um, when it's facing straight down. And it's already loose at that, so this thing falls out all the time. His other hand, I mean, it fits in, it's okay, but it doesn't go in all the way. So definitely some issues with that. I was really disappointed with that part. And because they don't fit in all the way, it's not seamless, which is the next question. Are the parts seamlessly blended into the statue and base? They would be actually if it keyed in correctly. Maybe it's user error, but I doubt it. I mean, the hand, both hands definitely on them. Light's arm right here. This part is detachable. I mean, it's pretty seamless. The only reason why it's not as seamless is because this one isn't detachable, and you don't see any gaps at all. But I mean, it's still very hard to tell. I mean, you would never really even pay attention to it. That's how good of a job and a smart choice they did. So assembly, I put professional. You know, they got lucky with that. So moving on to special features. Are there lighting features? No. Sound system? No. Is the lighting customizable? No. Do the features enhance the statue and feel like a gimmick? No. Does it have its own turntable? No. That would have been nice if it did. I think it could have, but it doesn't. Are these features needed? None of it is needed, but a turntable, that could have been nice, or even, a turntable, and it also had the title Death Note on there. I don't know, maybe. So for special features, we got veteran. All right, so moving on to packaging. Is the packaging high quality or cheap? I'll say it's pretty high quality. Does it protect all the parts? All the parts were surprisingly protected. They took the extra steps to protect the statue. I mean, stuff was really wrapped up in the soft styrofoam with tape wrapped all the way around it. And these parts are extremely delicate, so I mean they had to make sure everything was protected. And not only that, I mean everything was protected very well. Instructions, yes, again with instructions. I'm gonna have to fix that part. Is it taped together or straps or something else for the styrofoam? Yes, they use straps, which I always consider a higher quality versus tape. Tape, if you boxing this thing back up or anything, you're gonna have to provide your own tape, which is gonna cost money. The straps, that's gonna stay there, and it just seems like they care more. Engraving on the foam. Yes, there was, but nothing really, significant. For packaging, it got expert. Presentation. Would you proudly display the statue? 100% I would display this. This will be probably one of my main ones because Death Note is my favorite anime. And it's just, the statue is amazing, just to let you know. Does the statue steal the spotlight? This very well could steal the spotlight. In a lot of cases, this does. Even for the statues that I have right now. This is the only Diorama I have right now. And it is possibly my favorite statue. I want all of them together. But yes, this thing is a show stealer for sure. Do you have to be careful where you display it to protect it? 100%. Like I said before, this thing is super delicate. You want to make sure nobody touches this thing at all. and that does have a lot of sharp parts. Somebody could get really messed up. I mean, somebody could probably die from this. You know, if they fell on it or something. So be very careful. I would say put this kind of high up, out of reach, especially of kids. Um, so for presentation, we have expert. All right, so moving on to scale. Is it too big? No, I would say this is like a perfect size. It is pretty heavy though. Does it leave room in the way it was designed? Yeah, because the base is pretty round, and the statue, um, you know, it has that oval shape. So there's a lot of space up here that you could work with, so that way you could have your other statues or whatever else displayed. Does the size help with the scope and allow for the appropriate amount of detail to be added? Yes. I mean, they did a great job adding detail, especially thanks to the scale of this piece here. So they didn't let up at all. So for scale, we have expert. Viewing angle. Is it best viewed from any angle? Yeah, I mean, this thing is just insane all over. I don't care where you look at this at. Um, you're gonna have a good time looking at it. But of course, you want to be looking at a light Yagami and Ryuk head on like that. You have to place it in a certain way in order to get a certain look. I mean, no, not really. But I would say like the best angles will be head on, or one of these angles off to the side like that. Depending on your setup. Are there multiple viewing angles? So I mean, you could view this, have this up high or down low, or head on, and it's still gonna look great. But I will recommend somewhere eye level or a little bit higher up, just so it's out of reach of anyone small, for their protection, and for yours. For viewing angle, I have expert. Embodiment. Does it capture the character and what they represent? 100%. This is full on light Yagami / Kira and Ryuk. Alright, so for embodiment, we have master. Moving on to the next category, condition. There's two more after this. Are there any broken parts? No, which is very surprisingly how delicate these pieces are. Like some pieces, I'm surprised I didn't break how delicate they are. While being extremely careful, I still thought they probably should have broken them. Thankfully, they didn't. Any scratches? No. Misplaced or missing parts? No, not missing anything. Nothing misplaced or looks weird or funky. So for condition, we have master. Companion is the second to last category. Was it made to go along with another piece? No. Will the statue mix well with the others? I would say it could if you have other anime statues or dioramas. I think it would look great with those. Do the statues connect? This does not connect with any other statues. So for a companion, we have professional. And the last category is value. Out of everything listed above, is the statue worth its retail price? 100% is worth the retail price. Would you buy it for more aftermarket? Hell yeah, but thankfully I don't have to. Hopefully you don't have to either if you're watching this video. Because, I mean, there is no way I could let this thing slide by. Especially being one of my favorite anime characters and favorite animes, period, and manga as well. So I had to get it, but I would have definitely spent more to get this. Would you sell it, return it? Absolutely not. Not selling this, not returning it. Absolutely no reason. Thankfully, it wasn't damaged to where I would have needed to return anything to see if I can get it replaced. And I don't want to sell it, nor will I be. This is going to be in my collection for a long time. So for value, we have master. Alright, so after everything is added up, the overall rating for this statue is expert. They did a great job. What threw it off big time for me was the assembly. That was the lowest score, which was still wasn't advanced, but I mean, it was you know, some issues. But biased, I still give the whole thing. You know, it's a master class. So basically, I mean, I hope you know, you was able to get your hands on this if you wanted to. If you are a big fan of Death Note, or hopefully maybe, you know, if you missed out on this, hopefully you can get it on the aftermarket for, you know, not so much more. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I have more videos lined up as well. I don't know which order this is going to be up. I just shot 2 videos beforehand. This is the 3rd one today. So now I gotta edit everything, and I actually gotta shoot more footage with this one, so to put in this video while I'm talking. But yeah, stay tuned for more special reviews. This is Jim. I'm out.